Oh, we are currently setting up. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you need the mic pulled more?
Let me see if I can.
I'm so excited. I am so excited. Let's wait for people to come through. Oh, we might have to close the windows, yes?
They are closed. Can you believe it?
Oh, wow. Okay. Hello, hello, hello.
I want you to see yourself.
How many people are joining?
Are they ready?
We are also live on YouTube. Oh my goodness. It's the other way around.
Oh, it's looking like this. I'm
It's so flip it, yeah. Yeah, is that better? Hello, hello, hello. I wonder why it does that. Ah, there we go. Okay, I just need to be in the center.
Can you
That's
see yourself?
perfect. Am I in the center? Am I in the center?
It's looking like this.
That's fine, that's fine. It's, it's me jiving and hi guys, I hope you well. I'm just waiting. We're actually setting up, but I'm also waiting for people to just join, a few more people. We are also live on YouTube, so we will have this video saved, and then I'm also going to open up your questions. Someone actually said that this is a prank. Someone on YouTube thought that this is a prank. Ukuthi no, Dlala Ngani, asiyindawo. We moved to somewhere else. No. The reality is we are still in South Africa. And right now, however, within the next few days, city. Well, we're not chewing anymore. We are vroing. I might actually move this one closer to the camera so that I look at, so I don't look too odd on the live.
You can see that camera.
It's perfect. That's fine. Are you fine with that?
This is what we can see.
Okay. My eye level fine. We've got Wendy in the background, by the way.
Hey guys.
Boo, 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 boo. And then Fez is like quietly playing there. Some of you felt sorry for Fez, Nitio. His dad is at the Alan Gray event, if you know about it. Once, I have no idea how to zoom in. Oh, I'm zooming in. I'm zooming in. Okay, I think we'll get straight into it. I did not expect over 80 people on here to just join. By the way, if you don't already follow us, it is the Jaways Travel on IG. Definitely follow us. I think this might be the only social media page we live on. And then obviously our travels will be shared as well in the form of a series here on YouTube. So if you don't follow me on YouTube, it is at y'all's channel. That is it. Obviously, we'll share it on TikTok and any other platforms like Threads and stuff like that. But the main real platform will be here. Yes, we are leaving South Africa. And the biggest question is this a permanent move? Okay, so let's start with the video. There was a bit of drama there, okay? Besides Fez's reaction was probably the most real. Everything else, obviously, we had to like, you know, y'all's hair routine. Okay, so we're distracted, Lami. Let's not get distracted. But thank you. The travel is happening. We are driving. The final destination technically is Kenya. However, we're actually calling it Journey with the Jaways because we want this to be an African exploration, sub-Saharan African exploration trip. And we basically prayed about it back in May. We really felt as though something was, and I'm going to do a proper video, a live update video on this. So if you are watching on YouTube and you miss this, you'll get the full update. But basically, we're not as stuck as we think we are. We're not as tied down as we think we are. And I want to give you guys the background so that you understand where we come from. So obviously we've got a child, a 5-year-old. He just turned 5 last month, August. And we've always wanted to travel and also grow a family. And it's always just these borders we've built around why we can't travel, this work, life, school. Fez is at a point where he's still in grade RR. And while Lwazi was working outside of the country, he was actually working in Botswana, he got to do a little bit of travel. So he like popped out to Zim here and there. And part of like, and I think Zambia, I'm not sure. But part of our talks were like, why don't we just explore? Why don't we let go? Our landlord actually wanted to sell the unit that we were living in, and we were the first. We had the first right or the first option to buy, and we started looking at houses. And in one weekend, so many houses in the same complex popped up. We love our complex. There's literally like 4 blocks. It's safe. It's very centrally located. Absolutely loved where it's at. And it's in the north. I think I told you guys that, north of Joburg. We were southeast for life, but then the centrality was perfect. We started praying about it then and there. God, do we actually buy? And being in 2 different countries, whenever we spoke about like what's the next step for our family, what's the next step for us, we went back to our dreams, what we wanted to do before we got married. And it hit us. We want to explore Africa. Our honeymoon was actually in Mozambique. We've also gone to Swaziland together. We still want to do Lesotho. And then we were like, why don't we just pop everything in storage and not renew our lease? We've saved up money. We wanted to buy the house and have at least more than 50% deposit. It's hard to buy. By the way, we're both entrepreneurs. It's hard to buy a property and get a 100% bond when you work for yourself. So over the past year and like half of last year as well, we had just been very serious with saving. So with the cash that we had, we were like, do we actually just dive in and become homeowners and settle down as we've traditionally been taught? Or do we let go and let God? Because this bug is biting us and it's saying, just go. Let go of what you know and explore the unknown. Fly and soar. Oh, what if I fall? What if I fail? What if you fly? What if you soar? That's literally how it came about. And as in, but that's literally what happened. So we're going to see about 8 countries. The reason why we wanted Kenya as like the exploration trip, I've been there before. A lot of you asked why Kenya as part of like the questions here. I've been to Kenya before. It's somewhere I could definitely see myself. It's somewhere where my husband's wanted to go for a long time. I went there back in 2017, and I believe now the express highway is working. And things are happening there. It's not like South Africa, of course, it's a different country, but I could definitely see myself there. I do have friends there. I've made a lot of relationships there. When I was in corporate, we had a base that side. So that's where the relations with Kenya come from. The same with Tanzania. I've been there as well. Loved Dar es Salaam. But I do see myself more of like a Nairobi girl in a sense. Not permanently either. I think we just tie ourselves down too soon. Life is here to be lived, and that's the era we are in. Last year we took a major downscale, the year before actually, and if you know my story, this was my year of yes. I really felt like, not just me and my family, my husband too, being able to get an opportunity to work outside of the country and explore and expand his mind and his thinking. We just realized that we always think that this is it. And we want to tear down the borders that we put not only in our minds, but physically as well. So we're crossing borders and exploring. That's the whole premise. And I think if you know my channel, it is all about getting into the front seat of your life and driving towards your purpose. It was eating us up, the fact that we were actually going to make a decision to buy a house and stay in it and stay here right now in this season of our lives when we really feel like we should be on the road. We should be exploring Africa. The biggest question as well was, what's going to happen with Faze's education? Faz is in grade RR and he's still going to be in creche. I think this trip is probably going to teach him far more than what he has learned in the past, 8 months of being in creche. He did start school this year. And we want to teach him African literature, African history. I don't think our school systems are built for the African child to learn about the African history that they should. I don't know a lot about Namibia. That's where we want to go and see. I don't know about Swakopmund and Etosha and Windhoek. You know, I actually have friends there who my school actually took in some kids from Namibia. Our hostel housed more of them, and I've only just heard about like the Namakwa people and some other cultures as well. I don't know much. Botswana, obviously my husband, he speaks so well. Like his Tswana so good. He's been there for a few months now. He's loved it. He's loved the people. Zim as well. He loves the culture, and it just feels as though we've restricted ourselves because we think the things we have need to be in one place. So I'm going to be teaching Fez on the road from the African map to, we're going to do Zimbabwe as well. We're going to do Zambia. We're going to do Malawi, Tanzania. Mozambique is a little shaky politically, but it was one of the places we wanted to go back to again. My grandfather's actually Portuguese from Mozambique, by the way. So I feel maybe it's in our hearts. Maybe it is in, my blood. My grandmother is Xhosa, but she decided to go a little exotic. And then me being Swati, she married him and then they spoke Swati. That's how I say I'm Swati. I'm not technically Swati. That's a story for another day. And I feel as though maybe that's why it dawned on us that our purpose is bigger than ourselves, and exploring Africa for the rest of the year, by the way, how long will this be? We're just going to go. We're literally just going to pack our belongings, live the minimalist life in a 4x4 camper van. It's not a camper van like the Americans call it a camper van. It is a 4x4 Hilux double cab with 2 big tents on top. It's called roof tents. And then it's got like a little kitchen. It's got a fridge. Let me know if you want a tour. Nina go YouTube and tandi ma tour. So I don't know if you guys want a van tour, but we've been exploring. It's been quite interesting searching for cars. You'll see that content. We've been searching for quite a bit of like types of vehicles. I wanted to get one type of, you'll see soon, the vehicle that I wanted. And then when we looked at the fit out of what we need on the road for the African terrain, petrol, diesel, all those things, it had to be chucked out of the door. But we wanted to consider buying a vehicle that I wanted personally. That didn't happen because practically it wouldn't work. We also looked at vans, like normal, what are those vans called? Do you know, Wendy?
What vans?
The van.
Caddy?
Yes.
A panel van.
A panel van, yes. We looked at it. We actually looked at one in Jeffreys Bay that we literally wanted to buy it cash, and we asked about the speed. I think it went up to like the 4th gear, and then we started asking them if this is going to work for the African terrain, and they were like, nope. You know, in Namibia, there are parts where it's just sand, where you literally have to take the air out of the tires and drive on flats, like on the actual rim. So yeah, we've done quite a bit of research on this life. Not enough, because our friends who've done it before, we do have friends who've done it before. Black people, yes, I know. They've advised otherwise. We've also mapped up our whole trip, mapped it out completely, and we've also partnered with one of my most prized possessions, which I'll talk about later. But you'll see the content coming in. We are so fortunate for people who've literally come and actually bought the idea. For us, it was a God thing. For us, this is the season that God is saying, let go of what you know. And it's okay. You guys know me. I'm probably the biggest risk taker ever. I don't know. Between me and my friends, when I told one of my friends, she was like, of all my friends, you are the one to do such a thing. You are the one to pack up your storage bag and go. Your storage unit and just go. And I am. We also found ourselves last year being so fixated in buying a house and having stability and having like, all these things and settling down in one place, that we were operating in a spirit of lack and a lot of desperation, that now in a season of abundance, God is like, let go of all of that. Don't make that your treasure either. I want you to depend on me. So there are a lot of you who also said you're concerned about our safety. God will take care of us. You're concerned about Africa, the terrain. We're definitely not going into a country that's got any hectic political stability. The only reason why we're concerned about Mozambique is just the border situation. There are certain places where we've heard where there were hijackings for the vehicles similar to what we are using. And then also in some areas where they've been it's more like a mini civil war in specific areas that are en route. But that's on our way back to making our way back to South Africa, because in December we want our mothers. We want to come back. No, if faith nesibindi sana sidibene langa. It's one of those things, but I don't think it's a shock for people who know me. And also, I think it was very obvious. I was stepping back from socials. I was in a season of silence and listening, and a season of stillness, because I needed to pray. I needed to pray. Yes, Shazi, I will save this live. We needed to pray a lot. This is coming at least, in May we started talking more about it. But before that, those who've been following me for a while, you know how much I've loved Kenya. You know how much I am so passionate about the African child and Africa in itself. And then for Fezi, I would love for him to open up his mindset, his mentality on what we do have as Africa, our resources, our rich, rich history outside of what we see in the media, because we are fed the story of the Americas and the Europes, but we are not fed enough about our own soil, and that's why we're doing it. I feel like he's going to come back with a new vocab, learning new languages. I'm so excited for him, and the little program that I've set up. It's not complete yet. I still need to work. It's really exciting. What about work? I work remotely. My husband is in construction, so he is completing his current project, which is in Botswana. We will still make our way to Botswana just to make sure that we are tying everything up properly, but he's in construction. He's a project manager by profession, but he's got his own company and he runs it as a project manager. He does alternative building technology. So part of this trip as well is to look at the advancement that Kenya has made within the construction space. A friend of mine actually works in the green building space and sustainability space. So that all feeds in. Yeah, well, God, it's just God and alignment, For me, I've actually got influencer friends, Boshi Landinda in Kenya, who I've sat down with when she's been here in South Africa. We've chilled together as well. And then, like I say, my ex-colleagues who are that side, we still communicate, we're still on WhatsApp. So the ties are there, if we buy a coffee farm, I'll be surprised. Let me not make Wendy upset. She doesn't want us to leave.
I'm actually just holding it back right now. But some people are saying, can we see the van tour? Yes, van tour, please.
Are you going to watch it? Are you going to watch the van tour? Let me just go through other questions. Yeah, Fezi school has been a big concern. What about community? Do we need to support your journey? What do we need to do to support our journey? Wow, oh, that's so beautiful. And that's coming from Marisha. I went to primary school with her. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. How can you support us? We are going to be in Africa, right? And one of the things that me and my husband are very passionate about is not just taking away from our African soil, but giving back. So we want to leave something behind in every single country, because whether we like it or not, we're going to be emitting pollution, diesel, and we are going to be taking away from that country just by traveling, using their roads, using their facilities, their resources. We want to leave things behind. So this can vary from food vouchers to blankets, whatever we can carry within that country, to cash. Somebody said I need to have a little stash there for bribery for the borders.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should say these things. One is like, cut the cameras. But we're going to have that bag as well. But we also want to have a box that just says thank you. Thank you for hosting us. And, one day this computer just shut down on us.
That's cool.
And we want to not just take away from our land. We know very, very much the story all too well that the colonizer took quite a bit, and we have the privilege now to tour our own countries. And yes, there are borders in between, but as long as we are using those facilities, sorry for the lighting change, we need to give back in some way, shape or form. So whichever you want to do, we're not going to do like a GoFundMe or anything, but if you want to donate, let me know. Happy for you to be part of this trip. What about my work? So I've got Wandi, who's been part of the team for a while. If you are a brand and you are watching, how can you get involved? Am I still going to be doing November campaigns there? Yes, of course. I can work from anywhere. Wandi will have our address. Obviously, we're going to be moving every 10 to 14 days in different countries. So she'll be sending packages to me. If you want to send me a package, that's also fine. We're going to use probably like a remote, like an office address.
We'll figure it out. So I got the yes from her. So you can send it,
just let me know. Pop us a DM. These DMs on this page are open. It's the Jaways Travel. So if you want, even email, you can email me or just send me a DM on this page. Then some people were just afraid about like, am I afraid of losing, my work and opportunities? I think the biggest thing is purpose. If you know me and you know what I believe in, authenticity, I cannot continue producing content without doing what I need to do. And right now, our cup is going to be filled by doing this trip as a couple. It's one of the first few times as a couple where we've been in such crazy alignment. When I say crazy, I mean me and Lozi were talking about the same thing. And when we sat down with Wandi, who's like a copyright master, and putting things on paper, even the name, even the hashtag, which is power of pause. We literally just pausing our lives and saying, Lord, we are letting you have your way. And I'm hoping that's going to be the theme of our lives going forward, where we are saying, we're just lifting our feet, you plant them where you desire. That's what we are doing. Who and how, God determines our income. Our brands and our bosses, so-called campaigns, they determine the salary for that campaign, but God really determines the income. He's the one who takes care of us, And then in terms of reactions, how did our friends react? We do actually have messages. I don't know if I should post it in a video. Some friends were just like, you are crazy. You are mad. Other friends were like, just come back. And some were like, you're probably not going to come back because you're going to enjoy travel. The other thing was, in terms of how much research that went in, we also went on to different groups. We were the only black people in some Facebook groups there, but we read up a lot about Africa travel, trails, help, where to get help, because there are places where there's like 5 cars, guys, for hours. And then we also got more information from friends who've done this before, as I mentioned, that we cannot drive more than 400 kilometers because what you see on Google Maps is not real. There was also a question of visa. The countries that we're going to don't need a visa, but I do know that there is, just confirm it if you are Kenyan, I do think there's a yellow fever requirement in Kenya, right? Yeah, Wandi says yes. I've got the yellow fever certificate. I think Rosie does too. Faze is the one who needs that. Karibu, asante. Our families... Lossie's mom, my mom in love, was not surprised. Excuse me. She was just like, you guys deserve it. You've been through so much hardships. She's seen it all. And she was just like, go, just go. My mom was a little surprised, but then she was like, I also know y'alls. You're a bit of a risk taker, bit of a wild one there. And I've never fit the mold ever. I've always gone against the current. So now she's definitely excited for us. She's happy for us. But of course, she's just like, just come back. And she's sad because she gets here on her birthday week, which is like the 3rd week of September after we've left. We're literally leaving in less than 14 days. Scary, I know. So that was my mom's reaction, but she's overall just happy for us. Obviously, the concern is like, where you guys going to be when you come back? We don't know. We've actually just let go. We've given away some things. We've sold some things. We've sold things like fridge, TV unit. So it sounds a bit crazy, but we also done that so that we can actually give of those proceeds to another family. There's another family that we want to gift. We couldn't send the physical fridge and the physical TV unit, so we are blessing them with cash. And on our side, we have saved, like I mentioned, financially, we will be fine. Praise the Lord. Unless we have to bribe someone with real angazi, $1. Sounds like a crazy adventure, sounds scary. Have you always wanted to do something like this? Yeah, what we wanted to do is what we have dreamed about before was like, let's just do a 2-month stint, a 3-month stint in another country. We've always just said those things. But the problem is, and my brother said this yesterday, the problem is with me. The minute I speak I pack it somewhere in a file. And I think that's what happened as well with both me and Lozi. We actually had a bucket list when we started dating. It was mainly South African based, but we've always been those people like, if we can dream it and if we can dabble into just testing, can we actually do this? And we pray and God says, yes, let's go. What's stopping us? Not a child. Let him come with us. Not work. We can work remotely. Let's go, But it's also really important to understand God's timing. Ourselves, so that our human nature doesn't get into the way. God's purpose for our lives, seasons, and timing. So in this season, we understand that this is what we want or need in our lives, and it's something that's not birthed just by our fleshly thoughts. We've really gone in, we've fasted, and we've prayed about it, and we just believe in this season we need to be living boundlessly. We don't want to be, held or caged in these walls that we know, in the norm and the comfort zones that we do know. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in this time, that is why we are doing it. Also, I think as a family, that's the part where most people are like, what about school? We will teach Fairs. Fairs will come back with an acumen that's, eklasini angazi futhi uyathanda la. Uyathanda lana ulo kanjani. So uzokhuluma nje, I don't know how many languages he'll speak. How did you prepare yourselves psychologically and financially? Financially, we started saving last year, the year before last, for a home. We downscaled our lifestyle. We were going through a very tough season, but we knew again, we have to do this, It's like, without knowing that this is happening, we weren't really financially preparing for this. And then come beginning of the year, when my husband started working, outside of the country, we started talking more and more about this, and then started praying about it. And then we were like, we're taking this seriously. The house that we lived in went on the market. We had the first option to buy it, but we just felt like God is saying no. Other homes came onto the market within our complex. Within literally a weekend, there were on show, and it just felt like there was resistance. Like, don't do this. So we were like, okay, God, what do you want us to do? So that's how we prepared financially. Psychologically, I think prayer helped a lot. It helped spiritually. I'm having a hard time now processing it, to be honest, because I'm fatigued. The move took everything out of me. I am tired. Tiredness, get anyway. But yeah, I think the reality is gonna kick in when we are somewhere in the bush. Ooh, Wendy came up with another hashtag, beauty in the bush. I might get ready with me, Zlavo. My saying is potter, beauty in the bush, maybe once a week, maybe every first Mondays or something, I don't know. And then why now? This is the time we felt like God was saying yes. How long will we be in Kenya? For about 2 to 3 weeks, according to the schedule. However, we do now know that it might change. I was trying to stretch my hair, but the things that it's doing right now. Is hubby working remotely, or is this part of his work too? He will be working remotely for the rest of the year. This is not part of his work. This is part of God's work. Kenya is gorgeous. It really is. Please make sure to pack a lot of patience. Yeah, there is a lot of traffic in Nairobi. I've sat in that traffic, and the drivers are very chilled. In an Uber, I've sat quite a bit. In Kenya, I've been to Brooklyn, Parklands, Karen, Nairobi. I forgot the other places now. Herming something. But yeah, I've been to a few places that side. Is it sponsored by anyone? We did pitch to different brands. One main brand that we pitched to that we wanted. So we will announce if that is happening or not. I cannot say just yet. But yeah, you know what? We actually felt like whether or not we do have a sponsor, this is something that's birthed in our heart. The proposal was actually based on our belief and where we are. So we didn't want a conglomerate or an international company to just slap money onto this. We really wanted purpose behind it. So if you do see a sponsor, best believe it's something that started on our knees. It wasn't just an idea. And then how many days and the costs? How many days as the rest of the year? We leave in September. We come back beginning of December to be with our families. And should we wait for the YouTube video? There will definitely be the moving video. Please watch. My YouTube videos, because these days I don't know what's happening. I know I've been absent, but it's because when I go through tough seasons, it's very hard for me to pretend. So I have a big struggle with like reality and then being on socials and doing something that's different to what's happening in my life. So yeah, and I could not share. I did share the fact that I was in a season of like stillness. So it's quite tough. And I struggled, and you could see that. What does living boundless mean? It means without borders. It means without creating these boundaries in our minds, in our heads, and also the fences that we've built between ourselves and these different countries. We are literally ripping them off and saying, I want to see what's going on that side, neighbor. I want to share a meal with you, neighbor. I want to know what the Himba people do, how they color their hair. I want to see a traditional wedding in Zambia. You know, that's living boundlessly and living like a nomadic lifestyle, literally not having a physical home. We don't have a physical home as it stands. And as most of you know, the property I do own is in Cape Town. It's not here. It is not my current home. It is not the home I have in Johannesburg. What about your husband's 9 to 5? He never had a 9 to 5. He had it before we got married, and then when we came back from our honeymoon, he submitted his resignation. I married a 9 to 5er. Then I came back and he was like, nah, I'm running my own business. So yeah, we both work for ourselves. How long will it take to reach your destination? We should be in Kenya near the end of October, according to my calculations. However, if things change, we will definitely let you know. One of our friends who've done a similar trip have told us we've grossly underestimated the roads in Africa. So it might take a little bit longer, slightly longer, but we don't mind. Where the Lord leads, we will go. We are in the season of just follow. Follow, 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 where they go. Is that how the song goes? I don't know. Consider having a physical picture diary where you detail your weekly experience and each area. Oh, I love that. We were thinking of actually printing a massive Africa map on a canvas, and then like those little photos, those little digi camera photos, and like actually pinning it there. We've already been collecting cash from our different travels. So we've already got that going, and then souvenirs. Anytime we're in a different country, we collect the souvenirs. But I think that's really nice, a physical picture diary. Oh, Wendy, did you get that, girl? We need to put notes. Creating a physical picture diary. I love that idea. Yeah, you can travel with kids. Stop limiting yourself because you feel like you've settled. No, you can change careers. You know, one of the biggest testimonies I have in real life, and I always remind my mom, she changed careers close to 50, and she's now got her own real estate firm, which she opened in July. You know, she decided to follow the whole real estate agent route. And she did it. She did the real estate thing. She was an agent. She was working for a firm. Then she decided, no. I want more. I want to actually be the principal. I want to own my own. She studied and she's passed. She passed earlier this year. She had to leave what she knew. And obviously they have like a restraint of trade or something. She spent her 3 months on her knees. I said to her, yo, I know you are planning, setting up a legal team, setting this up. By the time the 3 months was over, she was like, okay, sharp. 17 days later, she closed on her first property as an independent real estate owner. And I'm like, that is amazing. My mom is, how old? 55. That is amazing for me. So if she can do it, if she can pivot at her age, and she hates it when I say her age, why are we restricting ourselves? Why are we creating all these bounds within which we need to operate? If Faiz needs to be homeschooled, he can be homeschooled. If we come back and we decide to pack more of our stuff and get on the road and explore all of Africa, these are only like 7-8 countries that we're doing, so be it. Let him learn on the road. He will be fine. We will learn, and if God calls us to Kenya, for real, because it is an exploratory trip, that's where we'll stay the longest, so be it as well. There's a question on YouTube. I'm happy for you. Love it for you. Which question?
Sorry, question.
Oh, thanks. What about school for Faiz? I did answer that one. He'll be homeschooled online. I'm just reading the others. Thanks, ones. I love that you guys actually logged in. How's your AdSense looking? Like monthly Inspire Us. It's looking okay. Y'all are not watching my videos right now, but it's looking all right. What about school for Faiz? Yeah, I've answered that one. I think we're good on that. And then let's wrap it up. Any other last questions on this live? Aren't you afraid of what's out there? I think we really put again those boundaries. What are you scared of? People live in Zambia. People live in Malawi. Human beings live in Namibia. Human beings live in Tanzania. You know, I can't wait to see the Serengeti, but I also can't wait to see the Maasai people in Tanzania and in Kenya. The culture, the food. My husband's going to be doing, I hope you do it, baby. I'm putting it on camera now. A food segment because he loves street food. We also, where we're going to be staying, we'll be doing a mix of lodges, city living in Airbnbs, as well as sleeping in our car where it is safe. So there are actually camper lodges. We've done that before where we've camped and stayed at a chalet or actually pitched a normal tent. But we've also camped where other people are sleeping on top of their vehicle, which is the vehicle that you'll see later. It's built for safety and for people to sleep. It's got my room and my husband's, and it's got Fezzi's one. Even though he says we're going to sleep with him. Are you really driving or playing? How can we play with such a thing? We are really driving. My husband was serious about that. The only fake part of the fake part was the flight. We were never going to fly to Kenya. What we knew is that we need to be on the road. I'm scared to take my children to Cape Town because I feel like I failed. How do I take my kids to Cape Town when I don't have my own house? I'm so happy for you, y'all. So I'll give you a quick story. This is not the video about that. But that's what my mom did. She literally left in Mpumalanga overnight with 3 children. And she said, even if we sleep under a pipe, but obviously she had family, you know, and I'm grateful for that family that housed us. And about for a full, maybe 2 or 3 years, we didn't have our own home. Even more, because we only got our own home when I was in grade 10. Yeah, was it grade 11? Just before I met Lwazi. I don't remember. But yeah, most of my high school, we were moving from hockey to hockey or taking the hockey and planting it at another family's backyard. So we've had a lot of family help us start up, and my mom's determination. You just need to be determined. Make the decision. The only thing that's standing between you and the next event or the greatest event in your life is the decision that you make today. You know, today's decisions determine tomorrow's outcome. What's going to happen to your cars in the meantime? So I'm parking mine at my brother's, same with my husband. I got an email yesterday asking if we could sell our cars. We are not there yet. It's like, God hasn't said anything about that yet. Should he say sell the cars, we will do so. We will let you know on that. Are you guys going to explore each and every country? The 7 or 8 countries that are on our list, yes. The 8th country being Mozambique, still being questionable depending on what's happening when we come back. That's on our route back. We've got a coastal route coming back. And then in terms of the trip, those who want to kind of know the lay of the land, this is subject to change because the Lord, okay? But basically we want to do Namibia, Botswana, Zambia, go up to Tanzania, Kenya, come back down through Mozambique, then into Malawi, into Zim, and back, Botswana, and then back into South Africa. Or do Botswana as the second country, so it depends. Cars on an Uber while you no angifuni mina ukugenza imoto yami Uber. No, I wouldn't want to do that.
38 minutes.
Okay, so we've got 7 minutes left because I wanted it to be a 45-minute sesh. I don't want to save a super long Karibu Kenya. Hi, asante. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that you guys are inspired. Tell us when you're in Windhoek. We are going to be in Windhoek now in September, Lord willing, unless things change. If it's not September, then we'll be beginning of October. But yeah, the plan is the first week of our travels are going to be in Namibia. So we want to do Swakopmund, we want to do Etosha, but we want to start by the Fish River Canyon. And then, is it Keepmanshoop? It's Tuesday. Yeah, and then go all the way to the west, then go north, and then go back down to Windhoek before heading towards Botswana. Yeah, purpose above everything. Also, we live once, guys. If it fails, we'll come back saying, hey, we did it. Oksala, we did it. We regret the things we did not do, not the things that we did most of the time. I'm not saying make a reckless decision, but in general, that's how life works. And then I'm gonna just take one last question. Fares I've answered, the cars I've answered, sponsorship, the costs depends on what you have. Oh, and then they said carry spare change. Thanks for that tip. Yes, spare change is drinks. It apparently we need to carry extra drinks, extra cash for the borders. It's not bribery. It's Africa. TIA. This is Africa. Lord, please don't. Sihle Kumalo's books, he writes about travels through Africa. That's amazing. I will actually check Sihle Kumalo's books. We actually have Sihle's books, Wanda, but we want more African literature books as well. So definitely recommend if you have. Is it for a holiday? I guess it's a sabbatical. We'll call it a sabbatical because it's for the rest of the year. It's months of being on the road. It's not going to be smooth. We definitely do expect some shocks. I heard I should expect mice, which is very scary. My skin crawls at the thought of mice. But every morning they're like, just expect a little bit of mice over here and there. We can't carry things like meat apparently, but I'll do a video on that. Should I get more questions, like specific questions? Crazy adventure, yes, it is. Yeah, it is a dream. I think we just, again, we stand on the word stability so much that we create walls for ourselves. And I think that's where I'll end it. I want to encourage you to live your life. You know, this life is meant to be lived. This life is meant to be explored to the fullest. And when we think about even the story of Jesus, hey, can you just think about it? Did he have a place to lay his head, guys? I'm not saying I'm Jesus. No, please. I'm not anywhere close. But when I think about his story and the fact that he walked and he walks with me, what is so scary about exploring this land? What is so scary about leaving what we know and exploring what is out there? It can't be that scary, surely, when the Asians they walked. Hi Malawi, someone from Malawi, hi Annie, you know. So yeah, I think part of this is really to also get out of our own perceptions of Africa. We've traveled a little bit of Europe, and now obviously the UAE. We have not done America yet, but I do think we overemphasize what's out of Africa instead of what's in Africa. I've seen Nigeria, great experience. I would go again, but at least I'll be more prepared now for the traffic. What is beautiful about it is that my mind is more open, and anytime anyone travels, you find yourself having such a different perspective, different mindset, and a borderless mindset. Anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. And for those who are like, oh, you might lose jobs, I'll probably get more jobs than what I even think, because God is our provider. Jehovah Jireh, guys. What about y'all's beauty? We do have Shaz still in our team who'll be managing everything. She has the product. I had to deliver it last week. She'll be doing all the fulfillment. We will try and document everything, but the most important thing is to also take in the moments. The moments. Power of pause is our hashtag, and we want to find power in pause. Find those moments of comfort and family connection while finding freedom through travel. And that's the most important thing for us. So if we run out of network, it's God, it's not us. It might also be like practically the country or the place we are in, the bush that we are in. But there will be content. That's why we've created this page. This will be the content page. We will have food, we'll have culture, we will definitely have everything else about us. Also, Poppy, exactly, she's a huge inspiration. I started following her last month when we knew Ubuti. We've hired the car and everything, and she was a big inspiration in just living. Life is meant to be lived. Just live, guys. That is me living as well. I guess you both will be driving. No, we both know, me and you, Nkosi, that I will not be driving. Hubby will be driving. He knows good meanings. I'll just be next to him. Thank you guys so much for joining this. Nothing is scary about exploring, traveling. It opens up your mind. Absolutely, Bobo. I believe that that's why we've restricted ourselves. And I think as Black people, we just need to do more of this. It's time is up. Uthi uwandi sekuphelile. If you've got any other questions, definitely ask. I've actually answered most of them. Most of them are about our cars and Fezzi's school. We'll be sleeping in the van and we'll be booking as well because I want to show you a little bit of luxury in Africa. But I also want to actually make use of the car because the car was not cheap. If you guys want the prices, we will actually do a proper reel on that as well. We did shop around. It's not cheap. You can either buy or rent. It's not cheap. Why are you emotional, Ivor? All right, guys. The last request from my side is for you to keep us in prayer. Don't be scared. Bless Wandi. Ululu, uti bless Wandi. Keep us in prayer. Hold us up in prayer. Pray with us. Not just for us. Pray with us. Our prayer is to find all that God has in store for us in this trip and to leave every place that we touch with impact, a lasting impact that is, and fulfillment. Whatever it is, whichever life we meet, or whatever we do touch, we hope not to take away, but to actually give back. So pray for us and with us. Thank you so much. Yes, I will post. If you don't know my YouTube, it is at yours channel. Thank you, Iviwe. You have been around and I appreciate all your support over the years. I love you guys so, so much and I thank you so much. I will save this live for anyone who's worried. We will save this live shortly, both here as well as on YouTube. I love you guys so, so much. Bye. Thank you, Balesa. Love you guys. Bye, Madam Fifi, Rose, Precious. Yantanda, guys. Bye.